Gal Luft, who apparently worked at a D.C. think tank with a laundry list of D.C. insiders, former CIA director, Secretary of Defense General Wesley Clark being one of them, also did some consulting work for a company called CEFC, a Chinese state-run energy company. And he failed to register as a foreign agent. He's been indicted. Someone from the press actually practiced journalism and asked National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan about that.
Yesterday, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York indicted a man named Gal Luft for violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act by working without registration for a company called CEFC China Energy. The president's son and brother worked at the same firm without registration, and the president was invoked in that infamous shoot-down text message receiving a transfer of $5 million to the Biden family. The president allegedly met with their business partners, was penciled in for a 10% cut, and was listed on as a participant on a call about an attempt by U.S. natural gas by CFC. What's the White House's take on potential FARA liability for the first family of the president here?
I've not seen that and can't comment on it. Yeah,
I've seen it. I actually read the indictment. You know, when it comes to the media, a broken clock is right twice a day. The basic question was, a man, not named Hunter Biden, was doing consulting work for a Chinese energy company, failed to register as a foreign agent, been indicted. What say you? His crime? His name is not Hunter Biden. My first guest is the senator from the great state of Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn. Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to join you.
Isn't it kind of amazing how much business the Biden family is doing with China? We got balloons flying overhead, Chinese police stations being opened up across the United States. It's almost like they have a key to the country.
What we know is that the Chinese Communist Party is not afraid of Joe Biden. And they are pushing forward. Their goal, Andrew, as you well know, is to be globally dominant by the time we get to the midpoint of the century. They want the 21st century to be the China century. So their job is to push us aside. And they're working with their fellow Axis of Evil members, Russia, Iran, North Korea, in order to push back against us and our allies. So they don't fear Joe Biden. They're very aggressive. They moved into the Western Hemisphere, and they are doing a spy and surveillance camp and also a training facility. They're in Cuba. We know that they are pushing into South and Central America. We know, as you mentioned, that they were aggressive in floating a spy balloon all across the country, which, by the way, Joe Biden said they wouldn't shoot it down until it got out to the ocean. How did they know it was going out to the Atlantic Ocean, not going to go back to the Pacific Ocean? We don't know the answer to that one. And you look at what they're doing to Taiwan, to the South Pacific island nations, what they're doing in the South China Sea, how they're bullying the Philippines. And they are in overdrive. They see this as a clear pathway with no one who is going to stop them. So as long as Joe Biden's in the White House, they are going to be full steam ahead.
I was going to discuss with you these United Front Work Department offices of the Overseas Chinese Services Centers, which are these basically police stations, these spying centers that the Chinese have set up inside the United States, pretty much without much to stop them. But I want to get to this. As the evidence continues to pile up that Hunter Biden, who has no experience in energy, no experience in executive leadership, no scientific background, is being brought in to broker all of these deals. Christopher Wray was asked about the WhatsApp message. He punted on it in front of the House today. I mean, at what point do House Republicans start using the I word? And Democrats in the Senate who ordered Republicans to put the country over party and over Trump, if there is evidence the president is involved in bribery, Where do we go from here?
And the House is doing a great job. I give Congressman Comer and Congressman Jordan a lot of credit for how they are pushing forward with these investigations. And I'm glad that they are in charge there to get to the bottom of what the Biden family and Biden Incorporated has done. And impeachment is something that I know the House is beginning to consider. I also am aware that there's a call I've called for, and others also, a special counsel to investigate the Biden family. And
We haven't heard anything from Robert Hur. If you type in his name into a Google search, the last news timestamps is January. We've learned everything through leaks about Jack Smith. Robert Hur is nowhere to be found. My fear is, though, that there were some Republicans that were willing to vote to convict Donald Trump. If there is blatant evidence of bribery, what are Senate Democrats going to do with that if the House were to bring impeachment to the Senate?
if the House were to bring impeachment to the Senate would have to take it up. And we would see where that would go. We want to find out, and the Biden family, you know what? It's like this, Andrew. If the Biden family did nothing, if they can prove that there is no truth to this, if they can say, this is where the money came from, this is what it was for, if James Biden can show that he has other business dealings, they should step forward and do this and clear their name and provide that assurance to the American people. In the meantime, I'm pleased that we're seeing the House be very aggressive in the way they're moving forward with these investigations and the information that they're putting together.